Now I want to show you something that is really one of the really important things to learn in multiplying fractions. And it makes fractions so much easier because we're going to simplify before we multiply. Um, Now, some people have thought it's needlessly complicated since multiplying fractions is so easy. But as we get bigger fractions and more complicated problems, you actually have to be able to do this at certain times. So I've had students tell me that they don't like cross simplifying and they'd rather just multiply it all the way out. But you're going to have to learn this to be able to do future fraction problems. And so let's go ahead and learn it now while the problems are a little bit easier. So we have this problem 3/8 of 20, or as we've written it 3/8 times 20. And the way we've been working is we've just been multiplying the numerator times the whole number. 3 times 20 is 60, and it goes over 8. And we have 60 over 8. Now 60 over 8 is an unsimplified fraction. I recognize that those both have 4 as a factor. And so I can do 60 divided by 4, and I get 15. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I have 15 halves, which is 7.5. Now there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. But it's easier to simplify if we simplify before. You see, really the way we get the 60 is we do 3 times 20. And the way we get the 8 as well, it's just 8, right? And so I can make it 3 times 20 over 8 if I'd like to. And here's what I notice when I have 3 times 20 over 8. And this, by the way, isn't how we're going to set it up. This is to kind of prove why something works. And what I recognize is the 3/8 was simplified because the 3 and the 8 don't have any common factors. But actually the common factor is between the 20 and the 8. So it's okay to recognize this as 3/8 times 20 is the same as 3 times 20 over 8. And just like I could simplify 20 and 8 over 8, I can simplify it here. 20 divided by 4 and 8 divided by 4. And what I get is that the numerator is going to be 3 times 5 because that's 20 divided by 4. And the denominator is going to be 2 because that's 8 divided by 4. And I still get 15 halves, which is still 7.5. But that's not exactly how we're going to set this up. Let me show you how we're going to set up this problem knowing that fact. Since I know that I'm going to be able to divide by 4 at the end, and the reason I can divide by 4 is that 20 and 8 share that factor. If I have a number in the denominator of one number and the numerator of another, remember that 20 is a numerator, right? It's 20 over 1. If this number and this number have a common factor, I can go ahead and simplify those. And so the way I would do it is I would say 3/8 times 20, and I go ahead and divide both by the common factor. The common factor is 4, so I'll do 8 divided by 4 is 2. I do 20 divided by 4 is 5. And all I got to do for the problem is now make it 15 halves, which is 7.5. We get the same answer, but it makes it a lot easier when the numbers get more complicated. So let's practice a couple more of these problems. Okay, so let me give you 2 problems to practice on your own. See if you can cross simplify them, and then I'll show us our answer. So let's do 4/5 times 25. Call that problem A. And problem B we'll call 2/7 times 21. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video, work both of those, and then after you've tried that, you can watch and see if we do it the same way. Okay, I hope you've tried it, and I hope you tried with cross simplification. I know you can solve these problems without, but it does help us on simplifying problems. And so here we go. I notice on A, I notice 5 and 25 share a common factor of 5, so I'm going to divide them both by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, 25 divided by 5 is 5. And so now the denominator is just going to be 1. I don't even have to write it. And I have 4 times 5, and the answer is 20. And I hope you got 20 for that. Then for the bottom one, 7 and 21 have a common factor of 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. And I just do 2 times 3, which is 6. And those are the answers. I hope you got them. I hope you got them trying the cross simplification.